everyone, it's Lindey. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Frequently Asked Fridays. My YouTube channel has lots of videos all about reselling online and making money while working from home, but this video series in particular is solely dedicated to answering all of your questions and filling these videos with as much information as possible. But by far my favorite part of this video series is my partnership with Wholesale Ninjas, because every single episode, Wholesale Ninjas gives away a 100 count liquidation lot to one of my viewers who asks a question to be featured on every episode. If you don't know who Wholesale Ninjas is, they are a liquidation company that I stumbled upon over a year and a half ago while doing a simple Google search looking for liquidation companies that I could source with for my eBay store. I was really intrigued by their site because they sell a lot of health and beauty and personal care, which if you watch any of my other videos, you'll know that health and beauty is my favorite category to sell in on eBay. And it's also a category that's really hit or miss with a lot of liquidation companies out there. So when I found Wholesale Ninjas and saw that they sold a lot of health and beauty, it almost looked like they specialized in it. I couldn't help but buy numerous lots just to try them out and see what their merchandise was like. And I was so impressed with the kind of merchandise that I got from them for the prices I paid. I actually reached out to them and asked for a coupon code for my viewers because I knew that my viewers would love to benefit from their quality product just like I am. And I have been partnering with them ever since. It's been over a year and a half now, and they've sponsored numerous videos on my YouTube channel, including this video series in which they give away a free liquidation lot to one of my viewers every single episode. This is episode number 17. That means 16 people have already won free lots from Wholesale Ninjas. Let me tell you what you need to do in order to win on episode 18. All you have to do is ask me a question. Just go down into the comment section. Just start your question with 5 question marks because that's going to indicate entry into the giveaway. And make sure to stay tuned until the end of this video to find out if you are our 17th winner. So now let's get started with all of the questions that came in from the last episode. Before I start with the first question though, I do just want to comment that there was a lot of questions about expiration dates this last week. I do realize that selling items with expiration dates does bring up a lot of questions, and the last video that I posted on my YouTube channel this last Tuesday, I will make sure to link it if you missed it, was all about expiration dates, where I went in and I answered a whole bunch of questions that I've been getting about expiration dates. So I have an entire video dedicated to expiration dates that was just posted on my YouTube channel. So I'm not going to be doing any questions about expiration dates on this episode of Frequently Asked Fridays because I just posted a video talking all about it. Olivia T asks, "Hi Lindey." Hi Olivia. "Do you use a barcode scanner to scan for eBay? If so, which scanner do you recommend? Also, would the scanner also put the barcode in a spreadsheet for inventory? Thank you so much. Love your videos." Thank you, Olivia. Yes, I do use a barcode scanner. Here it is. So it's a really simple barcode scanner. It is not plugged in. This is a corded one. They do sell ones that are cordless, but I prefer the corded ones because I don't want to have to worry about the battery dying. It's a really simple one. I think I paid $12 for this on Amazon. I will make sure to link the exact one that I use down in the video description. I've used it for like 2 years now. I actually have 2 of them. I have a second one downstairs and I have the one up here, but it's really super simple to use. It's just a plug and play. All you have to do is with your mouse, you just click the cursor into the search bar and you just squeeze it and scan the barcode, and it'll do a search wherever there's a search bar. If you're scanning in the Google search bar, if you're scanning on the eBay search bar, if you're scanning on the Amazon search bar, it will scan whatever number there is. And to answer your question about the spreadsheet, yes, whatever barcode you scan, it will search the UPC number instantaneously. So if you are going into your spreadsheet and keeping track of UPCs in a spreadsheet, all you have to do is put the cursor in the spreadsheet where you want it, beep it, and then the number will automatically appear. It's very simple to use, and it's very cheap. Again, I'll make sure to link it in the video description. Sam Forstland asks, "Hi Lindey." Hey Sam, you are awesome. Thanks for your great videos. Thank you so much, Sam. "Is neutral feedback really that bad for your eBay account?" I've had a few instances where I just don't want to ask for feedback revision in fear of a buyer giving me a worse feedback. That can definitely happen. I don't want it to affect my account, but in some cases, I just want to leave it as is. Thanks. So neutral feedbacks really don't have a negative impact on your account at all. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even move your ticker. If you have 100% feedback and someone comes in and leaves you neutral, you still have 100% feedback. It doesn't change anything. Like it doesn't change the number that you have of feedback, and it doesn't change the percentage. It's just like a lukewarm review of your performance as an eBay seller. It does nothing. Now, I know it does kind of hit the ego a little bit. I mean, I feel that ego hit whenever I get a neutral feedback, but it really isn't worth the hassle of getting it removed unless you have the time to request the feedback be removed by eBay. I definitely would not send a revision request to the buyer because, like you said, it's kind of like poking a bear. You know, you don't want to piss them off any more than they apparently already are for going to the hassle of leaving a neutral when they could have just said nothing. So I wouldn't request a revision by the buyer, but you could, if you have the time and patience, contact eBay and ask eBay to take it off. eBay can if it qualifies for removal, but as a general rule, I'm not really bothered by it because it really has no negative effect on your account at all. And really, how many people are going in there reading your feedback anyway, especially if you have a high percentage? If you have a high percentage of feedback, I highly doubt people are going and scrolling through reading your feedback. Cheryl Nawaj asks, "Hi Lindey, thank you for all your great advice." Thank you, Cheryl. While shipping, when should you use USPS Parcel Ground Select instead of flat rate or priority? Thank you. So I rarely ever use the Parcel Select option if I can ship priority for the same price, which if you ship through eBay, you get a discount. And priority mail is almost the exact same price as Parcel, but it moves slower. So why use Parcel when you could just use priority for the same price? Unless you are shipping something potentially hazardous that must go ground. That is the circumstance when I would use Parcel instead of priority. That's when you are shipping something that's hazardous or flammable. That does have to go Parcel, and you shouldn't be sending it priority because it is prohibited. But other than that, I will just send everything priority because that discounted price that eBay gives us for priority shipping is the exact same price as Parcel, and it's a lot faster. So I always use priority in that case. Bob Lippa Sr. asks, "Hey Lindey." Hey Bob. "I watch all your videos and have made a difference for me." Thank you so much for watching. Happy to help. Question: as far as packing paper, we still get the morning paper, old school, 7 days a week. Is it tacky to use printed paper as fill? I don't think so. The one thing I would be concerned with newspaper is the ink, because I would use newspaper when filling boxes for like moving or packing things for long-term storage, and then you get into the box and you pull the paper out and you always get a lot of ink on your hands from the newspaper. That's the one thing that would concern me with using it as filler. So I wouldn't necessarily use the newspaper for wrapping items that I would be worried about getting ink on. But if we're talking about having something maybe wrapped in bubble wrap or some other sort of box or packaging, and then just using the newspaper as additional filler that's not necessarily touching the product and possibly getting ink all over it, I think using that as filler is fine. Okatu Anime 01 asks, "Hey Lindey, hello. Thanks for your videos. They're very informative. Thank you so much. What size boxes, envelopes, etc. do you use most often?" Okay, I will make sure to link all of these down in the video description, but I already know exactly what I use the most. When it comes to boxes, I always use the 6" by 4" by 3" boxes and the 8" by 4" by 3" boxes the most. Hands down, the boxes that I use the most frequently. If we're talking about bubble mailers, I will use the 6" by 9" bubble mailers, or I will use the Scotch Flex and Seal shipping roll. The Scotch Flex and Seal shipping roll is a product that I was actually asked to review on my YouTube channel by Scotch 3M themselves back in October of 2019. And this was right when the product first came out, and this product it blew my mind. It completely shook up how I do all of my shipping. I'll make sure to link that review down in the video description as well if you missed it, because it is a little bit older, but the Scotch Flex and Seal shipping roll is amazing, and I use it very, very frequently for those items that I don't have the perfect box or envelope to fit. And the price has gone down for it a lot. It used to be a lot more expensive than it is now. Now you can get like a 50-foot roll for around $30. It's a product I recommend all the time. I use it all the time. I absolutely love it. I'll make sure to link it down below. I will use 9-inch by 13-inch poly bags. And then the priority products that I use the most, I use the 1096L boxes inside of the regular flat rate envelopes every time I ship flat rate priority. That's like my signature move that I talk about in every shipping video that I ever do, which I'll link a playlist for shipping videos down below as well. And I will use the padded flat rate envelopes, and then I will use regional A boxes. And those are the ones that I use the most frequently. I know I ran through them really, really fast. I just want to get to a lot of questions, so I'll make sure to link everything I just mentioned down below so that you have a list of all of my favorite shipping products that I use the most often. Christy Talbot asks, hey Lindey, hey Christy, I've been selling for 8+ years and I have a weird question. I frequently get asked what my occupation is. However, explaining that I'm a liquidation reseller tends to be lengthy discussion. Is there a specific title that you would give our type of work that would keep the whole conversation to a minimum? I seriously have horrible social anxiety, and the shorter the convo, the better. No, I totally understand, because what we do is not something that is widely known or understood. I mean, people will buy from sites like eBay and Amazon, not even thinking where the merchandise could be coming from. So usually when someone asks me what I do, I just tell them that I am an e-commerce seller. And if they don't understand what an e-commerce seller is, I just simply say, have you ever bought something from Amazon or eBay? If they say yes, then I say, well, the person that ships it to you is someone like me. And if they need a little more clarification, I say, I buy things from retailers like Walmart or Target, and I resell them online for profit. And then from there, they likely have an understanding of what exactly you do. However, they might want to start talking more about how you get into doing something like that, and can anyone kind of do it? And then the conversation kind of turns into more of they want you to teach them or tell them how to do it. And if that happens, I can't really help you, because they're going to want to talk about it. You could, throw them off a little bit by telling them how hard it is and how much you hate it. If they think you hate it, they won't want to do it themselves. You know we love it. You know we love it. Carol Parker asks, can you explain the sell-through rate again, pretty please? I watch and rewatch your videos a lot. Love your explanation of reselling tips. Thanks for everything. Thank you, Carol. So the simplest form of figuring out sell-through rate is taking the number of items that sold divided by the number of items that are currently listed. There are a lot of different ways to find out different sell-through rates, like factoring in how many items you've listed versus how many items you've sold. But the most common way sell-through rate makes a difference for us is to take the number of items that have sold divided by the number of items that are listed. So for instance, if you search something on eBay and you see that there is 50 items that have sold in 90 days, and there is currently 100 items that are listed. So in this example, you would take the number of items sold, which would be 50, divided by the number of items that are listed, which would be 100. That would give you 0.50, which if you move the decimal and create a percentage, that is a 50% sell-through rate in 90 days. Debbie Sneed asks, thanks so much for your videos. I changed my titles the way you suggested in the previous video. Sold 4 items in 24 hours. That is awesome, Debbie, congratulations. Great tip for selling collectibles. We also just started taking offers. What is your take on accepting offers? I see pros and cons. Do you price higher originally to keep profit after accepting an offer? I am a huge believer in accepting offers. You probably heard me talk off and on about activity. I feel like accepting offers is one of the best forms of activity that you can give your eBay store, because it's telling eBay that you're an eager seller wanting to sell. And when you do that, you make eBay money off of final value fees. So I do price my items just a smidge higher, expecting to run sales and accept offers. So definitely keep that in mind if you are wanting to entertain accepting offers. Don't price your item at the lowest you're willing to take if you are going to take offers. Go ahead and price it just a little bit higher. But also don't think that just because you're accepting offers means that you have to take a significant discount in your best offer. If you're pricing something at $50, $45 could be an acceptable offer. Don't think that the offer that you take has to be like $20, $25, or $30 if you're pricing it at 50 bucks. You know, even a small bit of an offer is enough of a discount for somebody. San Z asks, is there a best time of day or best time of the week to list items? Also, for different platforms, is it better to post on Facebook Marketplace on the weekends? So back in the day of eBay, I do believe that there used to be certain days that were the best to post. You wanted to try to pick times to list items where people were home or looking on their computer. But now, honestly, I think that your best idea is just to get the items listed. There is this idea of, oh, I'll create the draft and I'll send the listing live on the weekend when maybe someone is home and shopping. I just like to get stuff listed as soon as possible. I don't pay attention to the day. I don't pay attention to the time. If I can get an item listed on eBay, I'm gonna get that sucker up on eBay. I don't care what time or day it is. Because I think eBay gives sellers a solid 24 hours of having that new item tagline on the listing. I think you get about 24 hours of eBay kind of promoting your listing as being fresh, whereas before I don't necessarily know that they did that, but I know that they do that now. Usually whenever I list new items on eBay, they will sell within the first 24 hours or they will take a little bit of time. That's why I think there's a 24-hour window of fresh promotion in the eBay algorithm. As for Facebook Marketplace, I do think that weekends are the best, not necessarily Saturday and Sunday, but I do think getting your listing up on maybe Thursday night or Friday night, that way people have the weekends to come and pick stuff up. But I have just as much success listing items on Facebook all week long because you do have the ability to edit or refresh or renew listings on the weekend if your listing has been up on Facebook long enough. So I'm just a huge believer in, if you can get the thing listed, get it listed, because it can't sell if it's not listed. So if you're sitting around with an item that could be listed, but you're waiting for a more opportune time of day or night, I don't think that's necessary. I say get it up so you can sell it. Cottonwood Bazaar asks, thanks for sharing and caring. Thank you for watching. How long should you wait for a customer to pay before opening a case against them? So I used to be a lot more nice about it than I am now, because it is getting increasingly frustrating that someone can basically claim an item and just take their sweet time paying for it. I don't think it's right, because you can't do that anywhere else. If you go to Poshmark, if you go to Mercari, if you go to Amazon, if you go to Walmart, if you go to Target.com, if you want to buy something, you have to pay for it. You can't just claim it, get it off of their shelf, and then sit around and take your sweet time coughing up the dough in order to get it shipped out to you. And so I tend to send an invoice or a payment reminder within 24 hours. And within 2 to 3 days, if they still haven't paid me, I'm gonna open an unpaid item case. Because even after you open the unpaid item case, they still have 4 freaking days to pay. That's almost a week of your time. Your item is tied up waiting for someone to pay. So because they still get 4 additional days after an unpaid item case is opened, I would say open the unpaid item case as soon as eBay lets you, which is 48 hours after they accept or send an offer that is accepted or an auction ends. Teresa Lamb Ramirez asks, hey Lindey. Hi Teresa. Thank you for taking the time to teach others to resell and for being honest about it. You're welcome. Thank you, Teresa. My question is, do you advise having a private and public eBay store for someone starting a YouTube channel? So when I first started my YouTube channel, I heard a lot of negative things about having your store being public, because when I started my YouTube channel back in 2016, a lot of people were saying the negative things that had to do with that were people that didn't like you coming in and causing problems with your eBay store, such as sending a whole bunch of offers and never paying for things, buying something from you and leaving a whole bunch of negative feedback to ruin your feedback score, or just the fact of people that didn't have any intention of buying just going in and looking at your store. Because here's the thing, if you get a bunch of looky-loos on your eBay store and nobody's buying anything, that kind of tells eBay that there's something wrong with your listing. If eBay senses that a bunch of people are looking at your items but they're not buying, that kind of tells eBay that there's something wrong with that listing and it might not get optimum search. So for those reasons and people buzzing in my ears, I did keep my eBay store private for a really long time. But then over time, I did also realize that there were some benefits to having your eBay store being public, primarily the credibility portion of it. Who is going to take my advice if I'm being secretive about my eBay store? For all, you guys know, I don't even have an eBay store. I'm just blowing a bunch of smoke and making videos to make money off of YouTube. It gives you a level of credibility when you're actually showing that you're walking the walk while you talk the talk. Not only that, but there's this entire benefit of wonderful viewers that will shop your eBay store. And I know that I have lots and lots of viewers over the years that shop my eBay store as a way to support me. And I love that. And I'm so grateful for that. And I wouldn't be able to have that benefit of having a public eBay store with my YouTube channel if I was keeping it private. And so it really became about, does the benefits outweigh the negatives? And for me, I did decide to go ahead and make my eBay store public. But when I did decide to make my eBay store public with my viewers, I did also take the precaution of having a private eBay store just in case something bad happened. Like my feedback score got ran into the ground, or I was just constantly getting harassed on my public store. I still had my private store that I could fall back on in the event that something bad happened there. Because when I was first starting YouTube, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what kind of viewers I was going to have on my videos. I didn't know how malicious people could be. And people are pretty malicious, but thankfully up to this point, my public eBay store hasn't had any negative repercussions from having it public on YouTube. So to answer your question, yes, I do think it is a good idea to have a private store as well as a public store if you have a public presence on social media, because you can't predict the nastiness that people can do. And even though I have a YouTube channel, this is still my business. I still resell. I still make money and make a living off of selling things. And I do need to protect that at all cost. Chariga Moore asks, hey Lindey, hello. When you charge the shipping to the buyer, do you charge a flat rate or calculated? I know you don't normally sell larger items, but even entering the weight and dimensions of a larger package in the system will often give a very broad range of shipping charges, $23 to $86, for example. How would you list in this scenario? So anytime I charge shipping to the buyer, I always do it calculated based on the buyer's location. I do not do a flat charge because, like you just showed in that example, $23 to $86. That is a wide swing. The reason why they're giving you such a wide swing is because they cannot predict where the buyer is going to be. If the buyer is the absolute furthest they can be from you versus someone who is basically a state over. And if eBay can't even predict that, you definitely can't predict it. So charging a flat fee is going to potentially cause you to eat into your profits, and it won't be an amount that you were expecting. So I always charge it calculated, never flat. And always make sure to put the accurate weight and dimensions when you are charging it to the buyer, because that will ensure that eBay has the buyer pay 100% of the shipping label, so you're not having to eat into your profits to compensate for any overages. Ray Driver asks, hi Lindey, hey Ray, love your channel and all the information. Thank you so much. I found a niche selling on eBay and making decent money last summer. In December, my account was temporarily suspended and my listing removed. eBay said it did not conform to their policies for items that can be sold. After research, they are correct. The problem is there are 150 other listings for the same product, including over 10 of the same brand that I sold. What gives? Why can they sell it? Why can't I? So I had this exact same situation happen to me. I had a listing removed. I was forbidden. I wasn't suspended, luckily, but I did have some listings removed for selling stuff that was against policy. And I did call up eBay and I'm like, there's like 100 other sellers selling this exact same item. Why am I getting in trouble and they aren't? And eBay's response to me was basically, well, we haven't gotten there yet. You haven't got there yet? It's like their response pissed me off even more. But I mean, I kind of see where eBay's coming from. There are so many sellers out there. I mean, come on, there is millions of sellers out there. And if sellers are constantly listing items, they can only get so far so fast. So there's no telling how soon or later those listings got taken down after you noticed them. It might just be eBay going through the process of pulling listings down and removing them from the site. It might have just been your turn and they're just slowly making their way through and those listings will be down eventually, but there's always more people putting up listings. But I know exactly what you're talking about. It's extremely frustrating when you see other sellers selling things that you know damn well are prohibited and you got in trouble and they're still selling it. And so really all we can do is kind of trust that eBay is telling the truth when they say that they will eventually get to all of those listings and pull all of them down. They just keep popping up faster than they can pull them down. Which was actually what they told me about the hand sanitizer back when the pandemic first started. There was a whole bunch of sellers selling hand sanitizer. I had my hand sanitizer listings pulled down. I had hand sanitizer listings up already before the pandemic and the shortage and everything already happened, and eBay was pulling all of my listings down, and I'm looking at literally hundreds of hand sanitizer sales in the course of an hour, and those were still selling. And I'm asking eBay, why are you pulling my listings down when all of these other sellers are still selling and making money? And they literally told me, we can't pull them down fast enough. The listings are getting put up so fast, we can't pull them down fast enough. And so we have to just kind of hope that eBay is being truthful in saying that all the sellers trying to sell that kind of stuff, all of their listings are going to be pulled down eventually. It's not just you. Reselling on the side with Esme asks, another excellent video. Thank you, Esme. When you advertise your garage sales, do you set an end time? I just had one and said in my ad I would be open until 5 p.m. but was exhausted by 4 p.m. and felt dishonest about putting the stuff away early. Thank you. Yes, I do set an end time. Usually I don't give a huge window because I just know from experience that if you say that you're open until 12, at 1 o'clock, people are still gonna be driving by just to see if you're still open. So whenever I would do pop-up sales, I would do about a 2 or a 3 hour window because a lot of those people that show up right before it closes, they take their time. And so if I wanna be done by say 2 or 3 o'clock, I'm gonna say that I'm closing up at 12. And that still gives plenty of time for people to kind of roll out. Usually whenever I would do like pop-up sales and all of that, I would do about a 2 or 3 hour window. And I would do from maybe 9 to 11 or 9 to 12, or I would do maybe 3 to 5 or 3 to 6 o'clock in the evening. I would try to keep it small because I knew that even if I put a 2 hour window, I would still be out there for like 5 hours. And yes, you are absolutely right. It does get exhausting. And, but I'm with you there. I would feel guilty about closing up early as well. So I would just do maybe smaller windows of time and just kind of know that you're probably gonna be tired after a few hours. Alice Carvo asks, hi, just started my eBay store April 1st. Ooh, brand new. I don't know much about how the global shipping program works, so I'm not using it yet. What is your advice to a beginner about starting global shipping? So I do have a couple of videos about global shipping. There's one that's really, really old. It's probably still valid though. And then I did one that's a little bit more recent where I talked about how I was kind of wrong about some of my assumptions about the eBay global shipping program. I'll make sure to link those for you in the video description. I'll also pin all of this to the top pinned comment in the comment section, so they're really, really easy to find. But the thing about the eBay global shipping program is it's pretty expensive to the buyers, but it's pretty protective and seamless to sellers for the most part. Of course, there might be some exceptions, but overall, what the eBay global shipping program does is it just makes you, the seller, ship the item to Kentucky, and then from there, you don't have to worry about it anymore. So if you're selling something and you are charging shipping, you don't have to worry about shipping internationally. You're just paying shipping to get the product to their warehouse in Kentucky, and then eBay takes over from there. If there's any problems with the package between Kentucky and the buyer, eBay takes full responsibility for it. So if there's a problem with the package arriving damaged, or if the item arrives in any other condition other than indicated in your listing, eBay will refund the buyer and you still get to keep the money. So again, it's a really nice benefit to you as the seller, but because of all of that benefit and protections for the seller, it does cost the buyers a lot more money in exportation fees. And if you want to sell an item using the eBay Global Shipping Program, it's as simple as check marking a box in the listing and then your item is eligible. The little check mark box is just in the shipping area. It just says, you know, include item in the eBay Global Shipping Program. You just check mark that box and it's qualified. You also don't have to worry about if an item is prohibited in a country or not, because that's eBay's responsibility to exclude that listing from certain countries. And if something bad happens and eBay sends an item to a country where it's prohibited, it will be destroyed, but you as the seller should be able to keep that money because, again, it's eBay's responsibility to know those regulations. That's another benefit to the Global Shipping Program. You don't need to know a whole bunch of prohibited items for various countries. Gary Atkinson asks, "You are awesome, Lindey. Thank you for all you do." Thank you so much, Gary. My question, how do you handle likes and offers on Mercari? My experience tells me that if you make an offer, the next offer has to be lower by 5%, I believe. So do you make that offer and it doesn't produce a sale and then the next offer has to be lower? This has made it so that I don't make offers on Mercari and ask in my listings for the buyer to make an offer, but that doesn't happen, so I continue to get likes. I find Mercari to be much easier to list and work with, and I can sometimes sell for higher prices than eBay too, but the situation is very frustrating. Please help. Yes, you are absolutely correct. That's one of the, I guess, downsides to sending offers to the likers or the watchers on Mercari is that you can't send the same offer twice. So every time you send an offer, it has to be 5% below the last offer that you sent, which means if you keep sending offers too frequently, the price is just going to keep going down, 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 down. But something that I've kind of noticed with Mercari, when people are liking items on Mercari, it's just like they're saving them to maybe come back to later. So I definitely wouldn't feel the need to send out as many offers on a platform like Mercari as I would with eBay, because with eBay, you can send frequent offers every time eBay gives you the ability to, and you don't have to keep making your price lower and lower. So with Mercari, I might just send out one offer a week and call it good. Now you could end that listing and relist it with the same price so that you could keep lowering the price and sending offers. But then when you end the listing and create a new one, you're losing all of your watchers. But then you have to reach a certain point where you say, these people have been watching my item for 3 weeks. They still haven't bought. Do I even care that they're watching it? Maybe I want to go find some new watchers. If you really want to prompt a potential buyer to send you offers, rather than putting make offer in the description, maybe try putting it in the title. Maybe have in the title whatever keywords you have for that item. And then at the very end of the title, if you have the space, because you don't get very many characters on Mercari, maybe just say make offer. Maybe having make offer in the title will give a little bit more attention to prompting them to send offers. But yes, that is kind of a pain point to sending offers to likers on Mercari. Lori S asks, what is the most efficient way to create listings? I work full-time and find I'm spending all of my free time creating listings. I would say create your listings in batches. Don't sit down and do full listings in one fell swoop. Do them in small increments. For instance, take one day and maybe take an hour just creating a whole bunch of drafts. Just start the draft, put all of the basic information in there and save it, and then have that be the only thing that you do that day. And then maybe have another day where everything that you drafted on Monday, you are taking photos of. And then another day later, maybe make that be the day that you're attaching the photos to the listings themselves and sending the listings live. So now over the course of 3 days, because you've batched different steps of the listing process, you're actually able to get up a whole bunch of listings all at once without feeling like you're overwhelming yourself doing everything when you sit down to list. I personally find when I sit down to do listings start to finish, it actually takes me a lot longer than when I batch doing certain steps this way. Melissa Cruz asks, hey Lindey. Hi Melissa. When listing multiple duplicate items individually, do you list them at the same time or wait until one sells and then relist that same item? Best, Melissa. So typically what I will do is I will just create the one listing, but there's really no rhyme or reason to how long I wait to add the quantities to it. Now, if you wait until the one item sells and then add quantity, you get this neat little ticker on your picture that says limited quantity remaining. I think that's what it says. And it's like this prompt within eBay when something sells out and then you replenish the stock. And of course, this is only if you have the out of stock option turned on. I should probably point that out. This only happens if you have the out of stock option turned on in your eBay store. And if you need to know how to turn on the out of stock option, I'll put the video all about that in the video description. So if an item sells out and you replenish the stock by adding a quantity, there's this neat little red bar on the photo on the main page that says limited quantity remaining. At least I think that's what it says. And it kind of gives incentive to the buyer to hurry up and buy it because you could sell out again. And that only happens if the quantity has gone to zero. But typically what I'll do is I'll create the listing with one item and then I will have a bucket of duplicates that I can replenish and add to listings. If there's a day that maybe I need to just hurry up and do some form of activity in my eBay store, I don't really have time to list a whole bunch of new stuff, I'll just go in and I'll replenish stock. So when I'm sorting inventory, I'll have one bin of items that have listings that need created, and then I'll have one bin consisting of all of duplicates, and I'll just kind of add quantities in my leisure. But if you wait to replenish those quantities after an item is already sold, you have that cool little limited quantity remaining prompt in your listing. Lady Loves BMC asks, hi Lindey, been watching you ever since you first started when you were filming on the staircase, and even though I've been selling for 8 years, I'm still always learning something new from you. Thank you so much. My question is, do you think it's better to take an old listing and end it and then repost it as sell similar, or just tweak it? Thank you again for all you do. Love you. Thank you so much. I actually just filmed a video talking all about this, and it's going to be posted next week. I get lots and lots of questions asking how long you should leave a listing live before you just end it and then relist it. Does relisting a sell similar? Is it different or better than just simply relisting? Did an entire video talking all about it. I'm going to get it edited and it will be up next week. Lots of detail about that, so make sure you're subscribed, ring the bell so you're notified whenever I post new videos, because that video is coming. Great detail. Darwin Creations asks, hey Lindey, hello. Great channel, by the way. I found it very informative, so thank you. Thank you so much. My question is regarding purchasing high-end, AKA like items sold at Sephora, Ulta high-end, Macy's, Nordstrom, Lord & Taylor, etc., makeup in bulks and in lots. Any suggestions on where to find a place to have reliably find sources of these items? Thanks in advance, lady. I can't remember if I've talked about this on my YouTube channel before or if it was just like mentioned in a live stream, but I have some really sad news about those kind of products. They are next to impossible to find because beauty brands like that, those high-end cosmetics and beauty brands, do not liquidate their products. As a matter of fact, a sister that I have that shall remain unnamed for her protection works at one of those mentioned beauty stores, and she is forced, and it breaks her heart every time, she is forced to destroy product before it goes in the trash because they don't liquidate stuff. Like if someone at the beauty store opens something, they destroy the product because they don't want it liquidated and they don't want someone having something that they didn't sell themselves. And it's apparently a standard in the high-end beauty consumer world. I don't know, but they don't want those kind of items being liquidated. I think that they want to be able to control their prices. They don't want their high-end beauty products to be considered a discount or salvage or bargain bin price. I mean, let's face it, these makeup products are bougie as hell. They want to charge $50 for a palette. They don't want to have to worry about liquidating an eyeshadow palette and having a seller like me sell it for 10 bucks on eBay. And so because of that reason, these items are next to impossible to find. The only way you might even come close to being able to get your hands on discounted items like this is if you troll stores like Ulta or Sephora and you buy them at a clearance price, crossing your fingers hoping to get a small markup on eBay. But as a general rule, you cannot find these items in liquidation anywhere. All right, it's about that time where we find out who our 17th winner of the free lot from Wholesale Ninjas is. Drum roll, please. The winner chosen by random comment selection is Cinematic Status. Congratulations, I have already replied to your comment. Just get with me and I will make sure that you get your free lot from Wholesale Ninjas. Cinematic Status asks, do you ever sell the same item on multiple websites? And if so, does it ever cause you any issues? So for the most part, I try to avoid this happening at all costs, but unfortunately it does tend to happen. Now, I've never had an item sell simultaneously on multiple platforms. Like I've never had something sell on eBay and Mercari at the exact same time. And then I'm like, oh crap, what do I do? Usually it's I've cross-posted an item that sells in one place and I forget to take it off of another place, and then it sells weeks or months later. And when that happens, I just simply have to cancel the sale and refund the buyer their money. But depending on what platform this happens on, there could be little to no repercussion. For instance, if I have something cross-posted from eBay to Mercari or eBay to Poshmark, if it sells on Poshmark or Mercari, those sales are usually so few that I know that I need to go take it off of eBay. Whereas if I sell something on eBay, I might have forgotten that that is cross-posted to Mercari or Poshmark, and then it gets left on one of those two platforms. And if it sells again over here, I have to cancel it over here because I already sold it on eBay. And luckily, Mercari and Poshmark don't really have any repercussion to canceling sales. I think that they are starting to get a little bit more strict on it, and you might only be able to do it a couple of times over a certain period. But I know that they're not as strict as eBay is. eBay does not like you canceling sales. So if you are actively cross-posting items from eBay to another site or eBay to every site, I would just suggest that every day you do your shipping, just simply go to every platform and remove that listing. Make it a habit. If you cross-post everything, just know that if you sell an item, it has to be taken off of other platforms. And if you really don't want to cancel an item, just ask the buyer if they're willing to accept a substitution and they can look through the rest of the items that you have and substitute an item without having to cancel. Thank you guys so much for watching. The next episode of Frequently Asked Fridays will be posted on Friday, May the 7th. So don't forget to go down into the comment section and ask a question to be our 18th winner. Just make sure to start your question with 5 question marks because that will indicate entry into the giveaway. Don't forget, I put a lot of useful information down in the video description. I also pinned it to the top pinned comment in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a like if you like this video series, and subscribe and ring the notification bell if you haven't already. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you with my next video. Bye-bye.